Well, hello there. This is Charles the Chess Noob, learning and having fun with chess. Today I've got kind of a funny game. So I had the black pieces and I played against the 4 knights Scotch. And I screw up the opening, end up with tripled pawns, and yet somehow I made a comeback for a win. Oh, let's go take a look. So I've got the black pieces, and as I said, we start off with the 4 knight Scotch. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, another knight, 4 knights, and then d4, the 4 knight Scotch. So the 4 knight Scotch is basically the 4 knights and the Scotch game. And the Scotch game is actually pretty good for white. I think if I didn't end up learning how to play the Vienna, I would probably play the Scotch. Solid, aggressive, open lines, super fun. I don't necessarily do so well against this version of the Scotch. So here I was just blitzing out moves. So captures, they capture. I then play the bishop. This is all theory. This is all fine. And here is where I make a mistake. So in this position, the best move is to bring the bishop back to b6 because captures, there's a bit of trading here. Now here I was blitzing out move, didn't think about it very much and immediately played d6, thinking opening up the diagonal for my bishop. And almost immediately after making that move, you can see, above 15 minutes, game of rapid, 15 plus 10, I realize, wait a minute, this is a problem. And you'll see why, because knight captures knight, captures, a bishop captures bishop, captures, tripled pawns. This is absolutely not good for me. And even though there's material equality, you can see low depth Stockfish reckons +2. In fact, it's even worse than that. It's about +2.5 in this position. And as soon as I got here, I realized, this is a problem because white can immediately now take advantage of this. And white did so. Trade queens, captures, I lose the right to castle, and they even, long castles with check, block with the bishop. It's dreadful here for me. You can see the engine has caught up, +2.5, +2.6, moving towards +3. And here I was, a little bit sad. How am I going to sort this out? Well, the logic here is we still have material equality. So there is a chance for me to consolidate and then, try to not make these tripled pawns felt. Like if I could ever undouble, untriple them, trade them away somehow, that potential would be good. Now, because white has castled long, I've got an immediate sense of the target. So tactically, I want to develop my pieces, move my pieces towards the queen side, attack their king. So tactically, as long as you keep doing that, even if they're not the most accurate moves, it often ends up working anyway. All right, so what did I do? So firstly, they developed the bishop, that's fine. And here, move my king off the back rank, can't castle anyway, move the king forward. It's an attacking piece, also defending my f-pawn here. Okay, they do slow sort of move. All right, push the pawn, try to attack their side. And, one of the ideas is if you keep making threats, even if it's not the most accurate, we're forcing white potentially to respond to our threats. It often increases the stakes. And by forcing white to respond, there is a possibility they'll respond in the wrong way. We're inviting our opponent to make a mistake. All right, so here, clearly they're doing this. Not really anything I can do about that. So decide to attack. You can see, wasn't considered the most accurate. Backward bishop move, a little bit, obscure. Now they take 2 attackers, but there are 2 defenders. So I'm not going to focus on that at the moment. Push forward, you can see, not considered the most accurate move, but attacking their bishop. I'm going to force them to respond. Okay, push forward, potentially weaken some of the defense on their king side. That's okay. Now, switch my other rook onto the queen side for the attack. And here, they lose patience, they capture. It looks like it's potentially good, but you can see it's a bit of a mistake, a bit inaccurate. Captures, they can't capture back. Here, got to move my piece, again, towards the queen side. They potentially look like they might be doubling up, which is not a mistake. And here, moving a piece into the attack once again. what are they going to do? And here they make a move which ostensibly makes sense. They decide to play c3, attacking the rook, but it's a mistake. And here I'm making use of their propensity to just use sort of tactical middle game heuristics. You know, you don't have to necessarily defend a piece if you attack another piece of greater value. And they're attacking my rook, greater value than the bishop. They're probably thinking, I don't mind trading pieces anyway. Trade down, up material, up in a better position. Surely it's good for me. But in this case, it's a mistake because they didn't calculate that after captures, I chain an attack on their rook. So here, they can't take this, otherwise they straight up lose that piece. So they would have lost a piece. So here, they're going to have to do this. Captures, and notice, now their c-pawns are doubled. So this no longer is really a disadvantage. And I capture this way. Now I'm basically back almost to equality. White now here is flustered. They don't defend their c-pawn. They make another move, trying to take the open b file. Capture. Now, Stockfish didn't think that was terribly bad, but I think this is a tactical mistake because after a rook captures c3, that automatically converts my doubled c-pawns to be both passed pawns. And passed pawns are really powerful because it potentially ties up their pieces or their king into the defense of the c-file because their pawns can't prevent my c-pawns from moving forward. So here, in fact, black is just very slightly ahead. One of the other sort of tactical ideas is when you're in a losing middle game, transforming to a rook and pawn endgame is potentially quite good because rook and pawn endgames are practically like a different game. It's really easy to make a mistake, and if you make a mistake, often it goes back to equality, to a draw, or maybe even the opponent wins. So if you're already in the losing position, getting to a rook and pawn endgame sometimes allows you just to equalize the position. Now, luckily for me, I think I might be slightly better at rook and pawn endgames than my opponent. Let's see what happens. So they try to move their king forward, makes sense. So I'm trying to potentially get rid of some of their pawns. Let's see whether we can do that. Check, give another check. Here, push that pawn, basically trying to avoid the king moving forward. They're moving the king onto that side. Now, notice that that pawn is now pinned, so can I sort of attack their e-pawn? That's what I try. Here, they move, trying to attack my c-pawn, move the king. Okay, and now potentially they want to trade rooks. I don't want to trade yet at the moment, even though I think it's good for me. Here, you know, with an attack on both sides, they defend. That's all right. So potentially here, with an attack, there we go. They move the king with a check once again. What are they going to do? Move forward. And now that allows me to capture the g-pawn. All right, so I'm trying to get this side, the king side, to have a pawn majority. Once I have a majority on one side, now I've already got a majority on this side, but while possible, trying to get a really obvious way, really easy way to win the endgame before trading down the rooks. Okay, give a check, that's fine. There we go, they still haven't been able to capture even my pawns. Now here, with capturing also their h-pawn, notice the doubled c-pawns are passed pawns, but the h-pawn is also a passed pawn. Passed pawns on two very different sides of the board. Now I want to trade down the rooks. So they capture here. Now I can just capture here directly, but I thought wouldn't it be nicer if they captured me? So it's not the most accurate move, but I was pretty sure they were going to do it, and they did. Captures, bang, captures undoubled, and this means that I take away their A pawn from being a passed pawn by now recreating a B pawn. So I thought this was good. Potentially, let's try to trade away the last set of rooks. So here we go. Can I do it? Defend. There we are. That was a mistake. Captures. They have no more pawns on the queen side. They captures. That's fine. Check. Forward. Check. And this is a mistake because now I can force a trade of rooks. There we go. Captures. 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 That's fine. 2 to 3. I've got a majority. And the pass h-pawn, which means these pawns can't prevent the h-pawn from moving forward, which means white is going to be forced to move their king onto the h-file somehow, and basically that allows my king to get rid of these pawns. Let's see what that looks like. So move my king forward, bang, 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 captures, captures, one pawn left. Here we go. Check. Here, forward. They can't come forward. Here, I make the wrong shuffle. I realize that after I made it. This way next turn. Bang. And because here, they had to move away from the defense of their f-pawn, captures, and in this position, they opt to resign. And really simple, because in this position, what I can basically do, the king defends all the way here, which means my g-pawn is definitely promoting. I don't see how white can prevent that promotion. They knew that as well. Resigned. Good game. GG. The big takeaway from this game is to not let an opening mistake stop you from playing on. It's often really fun to try to get the reversal, try to make a comeback, make use of middle game tactics and strategies, and often you will still win, particularly in the beginner intermediate level. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.